So I've got this nice little air compressor that I picked up at an estate sale a couple weeks ago. Except, you turn it on. It gets to about 50 or 60 psi and it just starts blowing air out the regulator here. So I have some sort of leak in the regulator. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this apart, see if we can figure out what's going on. I'm hoping there's some O-ring somewhere that can be replaced. So there are 4 screws, one here, 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 and here. I'm gonna start by taking those off, and that should take this plastic cover off, I assume. And basically the air comes out of this regulator right here. This dial. You turn the dial looser and it lets out more air. On the side of this regulator knob here, there's a little brass set pin here that appears to be the only thing holding this knob on. And so I'm gonna try and remove that, and then hopefully the knob will come off, and then we'll be able to get an idea of what's going on down there. There's that guy right there. So that's out. I'm going to set that aside, and then hopefully this will come off now. Oh, maybe not. Oh, there we go. Now it screws all the way off. There's really not a whole lot in the bottom there. All right, so now we've got a little spring in there. Let's see if I can pull this out of here. We got our O-ring. There it is, this black ring right here. That's our O-ring, and that probably needs to be replaced. So the heart of what we want to do is to get in here and replace this O-ring. So let's go ahead and remove the old one, and then I'll have to go to the store and see if I can find something of a similar size. Alright, so there's my O-ring. This is a pretty, this is a pretty specific type of O-ring. This is not just like your standard O-ring. You can see it's got a groove on the one side, and then it's smooth, and this is the whole thing is kind of squared off. It's not round like what you'd expect. All right, so I've got an assortment of O-rings here, and we're gonna see if we can find one that matches up with this guy here. All right, so here is our. All right, cat, get in the way, cat. All right, so here is our original O-ring, and as far as matching ones in here, there's one that is 20 millimeters and one that is 22 millimeters, and so I'm gonna try. Oh, and then we have another 20 and another 22 that are fatter ones. We'll try the skinnier 20 millimeter one. Stick that on there. Let's test fit this thing real quick. That seems like it will work. Whoa. All right, and then I've got some silicone lubricant here. I'm gonna use that to lubricate this O-ring. Just sort of rub it around. Then I'm gonna reinstall this guy. We'll put that back into our regulator. We got our spring goes back in there. Our dial goes back on, or knob. That screws on. And then I'm gonna hold on to this little brass set screw thing for a minute while we test this. All right, let's plug this in and see what happens. Still seems to leak, dude. Basically what I figured out is that I can stick this guy back in here and the leak comes directly out of the center here, which these things are designed to relieve air pressure there, but it never sort of gets to the point where I can't get the pressure high enough on here to where it should be. This should be a 110 max PSI, and I can't get anywhere close to 100. I can get to about 70, and then it can't get any higher than that. So I'm assuming that there's some sort of shut-off mechanism, or it's not quite regulating the way it should be. So looking down inside here further, I can see that there's this guy, and so on the back side of this guy here, we've got this little sort of straw, and you can see that it goes all the way through, and there's an opening there, and it's supposed to leak air through that little straw, right? But down in there, in order for this thing to regulate, like that thing goes up and down, and down in here, there's got to be something else where it sort of shuts off at some point. So let's remove this guy. Get some pliers. Pull that out. See what there is. Ooh, it's like a rusty mess in there. Well, that could be our problem. There's another little O-ring in there. Although that, I can't imagine is the issue. Look at this thing. It's all rusted. What was it supposed to be like? Oh, that's a piece of rubber. Okay, that is definitely a problem. So this is like a little rubber stopper thing down in there. And it's all crusted up. I guarantee you can't buy that. Not entirely sure how the engineering on this thing works. What's happening though in here is you've got this little straw down there. You've got this guy here with the Phillips head top on it. And this guy goes down in there, and down in there, you've got basically the air comes up through that smaller orifice down there, and then it has to bleed past through that orifice, or has to travel past that orifice into this bigger opening here, and then there's a cutout down in there that leads to the end, the actual exit pipe over here. So it has to travel through this thing to get out to the exit pipe. These things go together. The straw fits down in there. You can see how that straw moves inside there, right? Through that little notch on the side, and there's two little notches on either side. But this straw is pretty loose in there, so air is going to be able to push this thing up. And then there's the little rubber stopper that comes in and slides down through here, and I would imagine that the air is also going to be pushing that thing up as well. I'm not sure though. I'm not exactly sure how it regulates, but that's basically what's going on in there. I'm going to put a new O-ring on here, and I'm going to reuse this little stopper thing, and I'm going to just silicone it up pretty good with some silicone lube and hope that it does something. Alright, putting the spring in. Now we're going to test this thing. Alright, we're almost at 60, and we usually start leaking at 40, so where does it leak? Is there a spot? Right about there. Ooh, I feel like it might be working. Nice, look at that. We're at like 70. Wow, it's still, we're over 80 now. It's unbelievable. Alright, there it starts to leak. I pull it off just a little bit. I think it's working the way it's supposed to. Alright. We're at 100. I'm pretty stoked about that. What I don't understand is this thing supposed to shut off the compressor by itself at some point? Look at that, regulate. Oh my God, look at it. Unbelievable. It shut off. It shut off by itself. Alright, so when it hits 110, it shuts off, apparently. Nice. And then I can just regulate like that. Sweet. Look at that. Oh, that's so cool. I love having something that works. Alright, so we managed to fix the whole thing with basically a couple cents worth of rubber grommets and a little bit of silicone lubricant and a little bit of sweat equity. It seems to be working for now. I'm hoping to get many more years worth of use out of this thing. So thanks for watching. Good luck on your own projects, and good luck if you're dealing with one of these yourself. We'll see you next time.